Hello, and welcome to this nighttime. It's dark. Daylight savings time for you. Taste challenge. I have two 40% alcohol Canadian blended whiskeys. Neither one has a website listing, sorry to say. This one used to, but they took it down, unfortunately. Didn't say a whole lot. It just gave like a little blurb talking about how great it was. Canadian Lake Premium, introduced in 1992. It's got this almost an identical label, not quite the same, but the same crest and basically the same label. Let's say 99% the same as Canadian Leaf, a different product, which I think goes back to 1961. So I don't understand why they're putting this out, but they do. And it's bottled by Oak Park Distilling Company, Baltimore, Maryland. Comes in this big plastic bottle. I bought it at Total Wine and More for $14.99. It's got the lion with the crown representing King Charles III, King of Canada, the Cook Islands, Tuvalu, New Zealand, and other realms and territories around the world. And it's got some other things on the shield. Of course, it's got two maple leaves. You know that it's going to have that. So there you go. Very inexpensive. It's got the diamond, I call it the diamond bottle design. Sazerac owns Oak Park Distilling, so makes sense, right? Diamond bottle design. The competitor, or the one that's been competing against everybody, is Tennessee Crown Club Small Batch Grand Reserve, 7-year aged, from Select Club, but they don't put it on their website. Imported by Quality International of Houston, Texas. Wooden cap, neoprene stopper, which is common for liquor these days. Introduced in 2013. I found it, wasn't looking for it, never heard of it before. I was just looking around at one of those stores in Jefferson Parish on the West Bank. Might have been Rouse's, but I can't remember because I go to so many. But whatever, it was $7.99. I knew that was not the correct price. That was a very low special offer. And they had a sign on it, special price, $7.99. So I figured there's no risk involved there. The normal price is around $25. I saw two Select Club products yesterday and they were $25. So good deal. This is the normal price, $14.99 for this thing. This Canadian Lake. Who makes it? Well, I don't know, but Sazerac does own a distillery in Canada, the old Montreal distillery. So you would have to think they're probably making it there, their own stuff, Makes sense, right? Canadian whiskey with natural flavors. Canadian blended whiskey. No, just Canadian. Well, it is blended, but it's Canadian whiskey with natural flavors. What are the flavors? I don't know. They don't say. They don't even have to put that on the bottle. You can add flavor into Canadian whiskey. Doesn't even have to be put on the bottle. They're both amber. This one, the Tennessee Crown Club, looks a little lighter. Why do they call it Tennessee Crown Club? I don't know. But there's also Texas Crown Club, and there may be other states. And I think they just make basically the same whiskey and they send it to different states, try to promote it in that state. Promote it. I've seen Texas Crown Club in Louisiana. I guess we don't have a Louisiana Crown Club. I don't think this wound up in the right place. I think it was probably incorrectly sent to New Orleans, the New Orleans area, and the distributor probably said, just keep it. We don't want to take it back. We only sent 2 cases or whatever. This is a theory. Then since Rouse's got it so cheap, they just sold it for $7.99. Now, there's a store right here 1 mile from my house that right now, this very day, and even last week, it's been going on for days, they've been selling Paddy's Irish whiskey for $9.99, which is definitely not the normal price. Usually that runs at the minimum $19.99. Once again, they got that distributed deal. My friend David bought a bottle. He was like, yeah, I want that. I have one already. I mean, I already had Patty's. I don't need to revisit it. I'm getting pretty low on it, but I've experienced it. I like it. But that's an example of the kind of deals you can get in Louisiana. You can just casually look around, shop, and they just pop up. Seems like about every month, at least once a month, they'll pop up. Don't really get that in beer too much. I'd like to. But it has happened in beer too, like Dogfish Head Worldwide Stout for $1.99 a bottle, and the store had cases of it, and it was a 2023 edition. Now that beer is going to last years, so it's not out of date. Worldwide Stout, even on the website, they recommend that you age it. So less than $12 for a 6-pack of Worldwide Stout. It's usually $11.99 for a single bottle. $11.99, and they were selling it for $1.99. I'm wondering if they keyed it in incorrectly. You know what I'm saying? If the bottles were supposed to be $11.99 each, and they put it in as $1.99. But they had a lot of it. I don't see how they could make a mistake like that. But if they did, whoever made that mistake, I feel sorry for him, because he caused his company to lose a lot of money on it. So that's like a world-class beer. The lowest score you'd give on it would be like a 99 out of 100 if it was a bad batch. It'd be a 99 out of 100, usually in the hundreds out of 100 or higher. And here it is, $1.99. That's an example of the craziness of Louisiana prices. I can't explain it too much. I know our liquor regulations, beer, wine, and liquor regulations are pretty lax. Favorable towards consumers. You can buy liquor at a gas station, other convenience stores, grocery store, Walmart, liquor stores, the few that exist because of the competition from what I just named. You can get drive-through daiquiris, drive-through daiquiri shops. So it's kind of a different place. All right. Drink liquor on the street, daiquiris, beer on the street in the French Quarter. It's illegal. Technically, it's illegal to do that, but in that part of the city of New Orleans, they don't enforce it because of tourism and all. They just give a wink to it. Now, not glass bottles, though. They don't want you walking around with those because, you could drop it in it, smash or fight with it. So the police they're not going to give you a fine, but they're going to take it from you and throw it in the trash and tell you go get a can. Well, they may not tell you that. They just take it and say this is dangerous. You should be drinking it in, or they might just say go back in there and drink that. So they're not going to allow the glass. But otherwise, if it's a sippy cup or a styrofoam cup with a straw or just a can of beer, they're not going to care. I promise you, they're not going to care because I've done it many times during Mardi Gras season, carnival season. And so it has thousands of other people every day. Now, if you're uptown New Orleans in the Garden District where it's shady streets with big mansion houses, and you're not going to get away with it there. Somebody's going to call the police, say there's a man walking down the street drinking a beer in this neighborhood. They're going to come get you and tell you to leave. That's why around the city you'll see the paper bags and they're drinking out of that. And outside the quarter. No, I mean, okay. All right, smells like regular old grain. There's nothing special here. It's just basic Canadian whiskey, meaning it could be any whiskey. It's just not aromatic. Same appearance, Thai, aroma, Thai, meaning nothing. Obviously, Canadian Lake would have the great advantage at this point. But I think Sazerac has a distinctive natural flavoring regimen. I think they use the same flavors for each of these. I'm not saying the whiskey's the same, but when they put in, I assume it's vanilla and maybe like walnut oil or something. or extract. I don't know. It just tastes like that. They seem to do that with all of them. They must have a standard flavoring, like I said, protocol, regimen. Taste time. Cheers. And then the ones that don't say with natural flavors, like Rich and Rare Reserve, it doesn't taste like those. See? So you can kind of like work around it and kind of get a handle on what they taste like. And Sazerac's good about putting that on the bottle if they add flavoring. So when they don't say it, then I think you can assume they don't have it. Still, it's a guess because you don't have to put it on the bottle. All right. This tastes nice. Does the sherry finish shine through a little bit? I think a little bit. I'm thinking this is the Tennessee Crown Club. They do a lot of sherry finishes on these whiskeys these days. You might have noticed that. They've got the Chivas Regal Extra sherry cask finish. And man, I couldn't believe all the videos for that thing. And the thing's only been on the market 5 years, at the most 6. And it took me so long to watch them all. It was amazing. I found out all these foreign channels that were doing it, Brazil especially. But now they got the Google thing where they translate it for you with captions or even audio. So it's a lot easier. Well, it's easy to watch them. Used to be you couldn't watch the video because you didn't know what the person was saying. You could kind of read their expression, but it's still difficult. Canadian Lake. Got it. Why did I get it so easily? Not on aroma, on flavor. Well, it's got those very noticeable Sazerakian qualities, Oak Park Distilling qualities. I say vanilla, pecan oil, whatever. Even chocolate in this case tastes like chocolate. Oh, Crown Royal chocolate. I don't think they're adding chocolate as a natural flavoring, although it would be allowed because it is literally a natural flavor. But that would be a little extreme. But if you read your Canadian regulations, it's, well, you see the problem there. Well, it could violate the regulation because it says it must have the aroma and flavor. What does it say? Aroma, flavor, and character, like body and finish and all, generally associated with Canadian whiskey. See what I'm saying? So we'd have to kind of fit in with that. Chocolate flavor is not generally associated with Canadian whiskey, so that would ruin that idea. But it does seem to have a little chocolate flavor, though, honestly. Does it still taste like Canadian whiskey? Yeah, especially the ones from Sazerac, which uses their 1001 Dalmatians. You know, their 1001 alias names. Heaven Hill might have them beat, though. They use a lot of alias names, too. It's funny. And that's allowed. If you just, all they got to do is register it with the U.S. government, say, we're selling this product as Oak Park Distilling, and it's registered. Okay, fine. They call it an assumed name. There's a database. I found it. But I got tired of reading all the names, you know. Legacy Distilling, the Founders Company, Oak Park Distilling, and so forth. It's so long. But usually you know who it is since they'll put their phone number on it. And it says, we love to hear from our customers at Sazerac. Contact us at Sazerac.com, or they give the phone number. And they do answer the phone. They're not one of these companies that blow people off. And they're helpful. I'll tell you what about that company. You call that number, they open at 7 in the morning, Central Time. They'll answer the phone. Buffalo Trace. That's how they always answer. Hello, Buffalo Trace. How may I help you? It's always Buffalo Trace. And you ask them, where are you located? At Buffalo Trace in Frankfort, Kentucky. And I asked the guy one time, why all these bottles say Louisville? I couldn't find a distillery for y'all in Louisville, looking at Google Maps and all. He said, well, he started laughing. He said, well, that's actually just offices in Louisville. That's like business offices. So there's nothing actually produced there. but they'll just put the office as it'll say bottled by, you know what I mean, Barton Imports, Louisville, Kentucky. But he says it's really not. It's just what an office is. It's bottled at Buffalo Trace or Glenmore. He said Glenmore is amazing how much they do over there. Now, if you find a bottle of Glenmore whiskey, I think that's pretty rare. I know it's a product. I've never seen it. I know there's old magazine ads from the 1940s about Glenmore and all that. I've seen Fleischmann's whiskey, Fleischmann's vodka and all that. But that's owned by Sazerac. It's not an independent company anymore. It's just a name. It's just they bought all their assets. But at one time it was. And then they were making yeast, Fleischmann's yeast, but that got spun off. Like it got broken off from them. And they still sell that stuff, Fleischmann's yeast, but it's not that original company anymore. It's just using a name. But it is around. I know there was Howard Johnson's frozen breakfasts that might still exist, and they had what did they have? I saw somewhere Stroh's ice cream, yeah. Because back during Prohibition, that's what Stroh's did. They made ice cream because a lot of the stuff they used to make beer, they could make ice cream with it. But then I think it was the same thing that later on they just say, well, some independent company, you could buy that name and the rights for Stroh's ice cream, and they made it, but it wasn't connected to the beer company anymore. But apparently that's still sold somewhere like in Minnesota or something. God help Minnesota out of that terrible attack yesterday. But now there's Pabst Blue Ribbon Chili from Chunky Soup, Campbell's Chunky Soup. It's Campbell's Chunky Pabst Blue Ribbon Chili. It's got Pabst Blue Ribbon beer in it. That would be an odd thing to find, but I've seen it all over the internet, and it's not a joke. It's not like internet joke. It's for real. And I think it'll probably show up in Louisiana because this is such a big Pabst Blue Ribbon state. Bottled beer, cans all the time, you know. I mean, we already get the Jack Daniel's barbecue sauce. Seems to be popular. I've never tried it. We get the Jack Daniel's iced tea. 4 different ones. Tastes like iced tea to me. You drink that, you'll never think it was alcohol in it. They got the regular original. They got the, the lemon added, raspberry, and blackberry. That's the 4. They sell a variety packs. I saw those. I didn't buy it. I bought a single of each. $1.64 after tax. I didn't mind that. So these branded things, that's real popular these days, putting up. It's not made by Jack Daniel's. They just license a name out. Like Wendy's chili. Wendy's does not have, that's all bought by independent producers. But they do have canned Wendy's chili now. It's made by ConAgra, which makes about every packaged food in the world. Like Orville Redenbacher popcorn. I remember he was still living. He had his own company, but he sold it. They came along with the right money, and he's like, I'm getting old anyway. He's like 85 years old. He wasn't getting old. He was old. He sold out. Nobody could blame him. And then he died. He was very old in his 90s. I remember his great grandson went to middle school here in Louisiana, Mandeville, Louisiana, and they interviewed him on the local news. And they said, what do you think about Orville Redenbacher being your great grandfather? He was still alive then. He said, well, yeah, he's just my great grandpa, but he makes popcorn. It says something like that. The kid says something like that. But he makes popcorn. But then, he sold it. But I wouldn't look for any Canadian Lake barbecue sauce though, and I wouldn't look for any Tennessee Crown Club barbecue sauce. But look how many Crown Royal branded products they've got now. Soda Pop, Crown Royal mixed with doggone ginger ale, Cola. You could drink that probably at work. I would never recommend this. You have to be insane out of your mind. But if somebody said, "What are you drinking?" Oh, just some cola, and they tasted it, just probably tastes like cola. But then maybe if they tasted a second time, they'd be like, wait a minute, guy. I don't know why somebody would buy a can of that because it's and they have the lemonade version. It's extraordinarily expensive. You could just buy your own. I'm sure it's the cheapest cola they get. You could buy your own food club soda pop or great value soda pop cola and add Crown Royal to it. I'm sure that would work generally just as well. Or you could buy some lemonade country time or something if that's your jam. All right. Final assessment. Are these both worth buying? They're worth buying, especially if you find it for $7.99 like I did. That's amazing. $14.99 for this. Now, you know, if you buy a whiskey in a huge bottle for $14.99, you know as well as I do, it's not going to be anything amazing. You'll just be happy if it's not ghastly and horrible. It's neither ghastly nor horrible. It's just, well, regular with a lot of vanilla. I happen to like vanilla, so it's cool. You know, I'm cool with it. Now, if you don't like vanilla, forget it. Don't even approach it because it ain't going to work. But if you read the reviews for it, they're pretty good, actually. You'll get like 5 good reviews, like, man, this stuff's pretty good. I'm glad I bought it. My wife likes putting it in her tea or whatever. Then you'll get then number 6 will be, this is the worst stuff in the world. I dumped it out. Then you'll get 5 more good ones. My husband loves it. Stuff, you know, it's kind of basic reviews. Just people that buy stuff at Total Wine. Anybody can put a posting on Total Wine and More, but they're not too pick. They'll ban your posts if they're stupid. Like this stuff is filth, or if you're cussing or whatever. But if you make an intelligent review, keep it, even if it's a negative. You know, if you say, "Oh, I hated this stuff. I dumped it down the sink. Tastes like, you know, vinegar or whatever." They're not going to take it. So you could trust the reviews. It's like Days Inn Hotels, Bacon Inn, Howard Johnson. They'll keep the reviews up, no matter how bad it is. That's to put pressure on it, because you know all these hotel companies, they don't own the hotels. They're owned by private franchisers. They just pay for the rights to have the name. So if they're getting like endless negative reviews, they're going to lose business. Secondly, the company might come in and put the hammer down on them because they signed an agreement. Part of the agreement is that they can pull that franchise at any moment. You know, they send what they call secret shoppers out there. They send them out. And if they get too many bad reports, they're going to come up and say, okay, you can take those signs down like right tonight. And they paying a lot of money every month for that. So that helps put the pressure, you know. With McDonald's around here, it's not owned by the company. It's owned by Beluso Restaurant Group. But he must have pretty good control because he owns like 50 of them. And he's always talking about it. He won a gold trophy from them for quality and all that. So he's pretty strong. Same thing with the hotels. They'll put those plaques up. Got the gold award from Days Inn for 2025, you know, or 24 quality. So I've stated independent hotels had good experiences. Stated independent hotels had bad experiences. Stated brand hotels had good experiences. Stated brand hotels had bad. You don't know until you go. Same thing with liquor. Everybody thinks that if it's an independent little obscure brand, it's going to be nasty. You don't know that. You never tried it. They call it an off brand. Oh, I wouldn't drink that whiskey. It's an off brand. I mean, try it. What's the difference? You don't like it? Don't buy it again. You don't have to be a fanatic. It's like with bread. You know, people are really crazy about bread. Don't even get me started on sliced bread. totally entrenched. You know, brand loyalty is big in the United States. Ask Cracker Barrel. Ask Cracker Barrel if brand loyalty is not important and customer sensitivity. But these companies are just so detached from reality in some ways. They have to learn the hard way. Bud Light, Cracker Barrel, Coca-Cola, 1985. They don't study their own market, or if they do study it, they ain't learn from it. And they do these like self-defeating behaviors, you know. Okay, so yes, both worth buying. I would give Canadian Lake like a B, you know, 8.3 out of 10. It's fine. I wouldn't go chasing it down, and I definitely did not go chasing it down. They just happened to have it on the shelf at Total Wine and More, so I bought it. It's going to probably last my life. Look how much I got left. This could be a lifetime bottle. Now, Tennessee Crown Club, I'm blowing through that because of all the challenges. I have so many Canadian whiskeys. Do I have enough to last through the challenges? That's a question I have now. I don't know if this is going to make it through the challenges. Oh, there's a lot of sediment. Oh, man. There are chunks galore. Grit. I'll tell you, you want to try an interesting experiment. Buy a bottle of whiskey, basically any bottle. Doesn't even have to be whiskey, it could be a brandy. And pay attention when you get to the bottom 20% of it, the bottom fifth of it. Hold it under a strong light. These are strong lamps. Hold it under that, and you look at it. You're going to see a lot of sediment. So I think there's only so much filtering they can do, and there's still particles in there. And over time, as you get down, they get thick. It gets it looks like orange juice with pulp. You know, it's wild. Doesn't affect the flavor, but I've had people tell me, I wouldn't drink that. I wouldn't drink that. That could make you sick. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure it ain't gonna make me sick. Okay, so Tennessee Crown Club, I'm going with an A on this one. I'm telling you, I don't care what anybody else says. If I do a dual review and somebody slams it, that's fine with me, because I don't do dual reviews and demanding that people agree with me. I don't. But my opinion is it's really good. It's sad though, because it's so obscure that most people will never try it or have an opportunity to try it. And you know, they do such good work on this bottle. They tell you the mash bill, 85% corn, 85% corn, 15% rye. They tell you the age statement, very convenient. Tell you what they age it in, ex-bourbon barrels. They finish it in ex-sherry casks. So it's very well done. And I wish other liquor companies would do it, but they're not going to. So there's no point belaboring that fact. All right, so we have an A product. It did win. Is it worth the extra money? Yes, I suppose it is, but the only reason I bought it is because it was $7.99. I'm just telling you the truth. I wouldn't have paid $25 for it because I don't know anything about it, and trying to find video reviews is impossible except for mine. And well, actually, trying to find written reviews is impossible. I couldn't find a single written review. So the only person in the world I know of who has an opinion about this product is me, and also my friend David. These are the only two people in the world I'm aware of that have an opinion of this product. Me and David. I'm saying thumbs up, A. He's saying thumb sideways, kind of not so great. Honest opinion. Okay. Whereas Canadian Lake, as cheap as it is, you can find reviews. Not many, but they're out there, video and written. They exist, but not many, you know. But anyway, all right. Well, thanks for watching. And then this weekend coming up. Oh yeah, I got some other odd items. Caliber from Walmart, always on the shelf, and always cheap. And the price fluctuates. Like every month, it'll be a different price. It'd be $10.99, then it'll be $11.99. But now you can still get a bottle, a handle, huge bottle of Caliber Canadian. I don't know why they don't make it American blended, but Caliber for 11. What was it? 11.49. How are they making money off that? I mean, this has got to be. And don't even ask about the vodka because it's $9.99. They got the regular vodka and the citrus version. Hey, that is on the shelf today, assuming you live by a Walmart that sells liquor. So it's incredible. I have Grand Legacy, which now is owned by Casey's convenience stores. It used to be from CVS Pharmacy, but they cast it off. They didn't want it. Probably wasn't selling. I bought it. I was probably the only person in this town that actually bought it. But that's gone. But it's at Casey's. They bought the rights to it. Interestingly, because Casey's is one of those convenience stores that sell liquor, like if you're in Missouri where they allow that kind of wide open place. Arkansas, forget it. You ain't never going to see that there. Not in a liquor store. I mean, not in a convenience store or gas station. Ain't going to happen. And it definitely ain't going to happen on Sunday. All right. Well, y'all take care, everybody. And see y'all Saturday for the Caliber and then the Grand Legacy. Yep. All right. And then by middle of next week, sometime late next week, we're going to have the Irish whiskey coming into play. Oh, and I forgot. I have the 40 Creek coming in. That was introduced in 2000. The year 2000, when they have that's when they started the flying cars. Because I went to Disney World in 1976, and I remember they said by the year 2000 you could shop at home on the computer. Well, that actually happened, and you could fly to the store in your car. Well, no, they're still working on that. Okay, but it was called The World of Tomorrow. But that was at Disney World, and they had like watches, wrist watches, where you could check the weather and stuff. But I think that has happened, right? Okay. Well, just go watch 2001: A Space Odyssey. They were a little early on the date. 2001, not really, but I mean, some of it artificial. The whole movie was about artificial intelligence to a large extent. And here we are. So, all right. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.